steps. Those half-step bends are so melodic. Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of nextlevelguitar.com, and I have a lesson for you that's going to help you in your guitar journey on learning scales, how to go about learning scales, and how to have like a practice routine for learning scales that will really drill them into your head and start making them sound musical and not so much like a scale, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the sounds, taking the notes, doing things within them, within those scales, and making them musical. Scales are an invaluable part of any guitar player's repertoire. They're the building blocks to licks and lead guitar and even riffs and rhythms. So I came up with an acronym that's going to help you, and we'll use this lesson as a template. I'll teach you a major scale and a natural minor scale in different positions, and you could use that as a template going forward in your guitar journeys. And the acronym I've come up with that's going to help you, and this is all you need to know, is just remember slab jam. S-L-A-B-J-A-M. Slab jam. All right? That's all you need to know. That's it. Take care. I'll be here all week. Try the veal, and we'll see you next time. No, just kidding. Slab jam is the acronym, and I'm going to get into what that means in a minute. And it doesn't matter if you play acoustic or electric. These techniques and principles are the same no matter what. And in fact, later on in the lesson, I'll play acoustic guitar just to show you, and I'll start off playing electric. All right, so here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to learn a scale, and we're going to learn a major scale. And the intervals of a major scale are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? How many times have we sung that damn song in elementary school? Something about do, a deer, a female deer, right? Okay, so let's learn this on the 5th string root. The S in slab jam means scale. So the first thing we have to do is learn the scale. So you'll find the root of this major scale with the first finger on the 5th string. And let's just say we're going to do it in C, C major. The notes in a C major scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B. No sharps or flats. It's the only scale in major key that has no sharps or flats in it. So if we start on the 3rd fret, that's a C note, right? And here's what the scale will look like. And I'll tab it out for you. Okay, very nice sound. You can hear that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Right? Okay, so what you want to do is just you want to practice that scale up and back until you get really familiar with it, until the muscle memory is there, right? And just practice it ascending, descending, up and back till it's in your subconscious, till you're not even thinking about it. Kind of like when you first learn to change chords and you're changing from like a D to a G or a C to an A minor. You're not really thinking about, you're not really consciously sending a message down saying, okay, 3rd finger, move to the 2nd fret, and then 1st finger. You know, it happens automatically, and that's how you want to get the scale in your brain, the S, the slab part of this. So, a good way to practice it too is to talk while you're playing it. You know, almost like talking and playing. You're singing and playing. I mean, you're going to talk and play the scale, and that will help you bury that scale in your subconscious. Because when you're playing lead guitar and practicing your scale and making licks, you really don't want to be thinking of the notes or the intervals. You want to just kind of let it flow so you could be expressive, right? So just try and talk over the scale as you're playing it, right? Talk about what you had for breakfast. Let's see, I had oatmeal, I had some fruit, a glass of orange juice, you know, I had stuff like that, right? So you want to get to the point to where it's just ingrained in you, whatever scale. We're using C major. Okay, S, scale, learning the scale. The next thing is L, legato. I want you to practice the same scale using hammers and pull-offs. Because what that's going to do is, besides give your hand a workout, it is also going to start taking that scale and making it sound like some licks. Remember, the goal is we need to make this scale sound less scalar and more musical so we can use it, right? In musical situations and not have it sound real stiff. So when I say legato, you're going to play the first note. We're going to go ascending up the neck first. First note, play it, and then just pick, and then the second 2 on each string will be hammers. So you get this. Right? 1 pick for each string. So you're going to practice that over and over till you got that down. And then when we're descending it, you're going to do it with pull-offs. And I like to back up a half step to that major 7th note. Major 7 note is always a half step below the root. Remember, we're in C. C major. Always know where those roots are. You have 3 of them in this particular scale. I'll do that a little slower for you. So you want to practice ascending with hammer-ons and then descending with the pull-offs. Right? You can start hearing licks within this already. Like if you start doubling up, playing the 3 notes on each string twice. Right? So the licks are already starting to come into place. A, you want to do the arpeggio that lives within that scale. And that's going to space out the intervals, give you a little different sound, again, making this scale sound musical, although we're going to do it in an arpeggio form. And all an arpeggio is the notes of a chord played one at a time, right? So we're just going to play, instead of, remember that scale I said was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then back to our octave? We're just going to play the first note, the third note, the fifth note, and the 7th note, which is a 1, 3, 5, 7. That's a major 7th chord. So we're going to play a major 7th arpeggio, and it'll sound like this. And it lives right within that scale. So you're right in that architecture. You might as well learn the arpeggio and tag it to that scale. Here's what it sounds like. Isn't that beautiful? So here it is slow. And then B, bends. You want to get proficient at the string bends that are within the scale. Critical, because string bending is like probably one of the most expressive things you could do on the guitar, right? And you mainly want to concentrate if you're first starting off on the high E, the B, and the G. Don't worry about bending the lower strings as much as first. They're not going to sound as good until you build up the strength to bend those thicker strings. Now, if you're used to playing pentatonic scales, which are only 5 notes, the great thing about these major scales and natural minor scales, they're 7-note scales, so you're going to have half steps. And those half steps are really melodic, and we really want to exploit them. Here we have half steps, right, in that scale. So what you want to do is first practice with the half steps on the high E string. You have a beautiful half step bend on the 7th to the 8th fret, which is you're bending to the C note. Make sure, see, you got to match that pitch. Right? And then on the B string, you can bend it with your first finger just to stay in position. Now, generally, you want to bend strings with as many fingers as possible. You have more strength, more accuracy. But in this instance, to stay in position as you're learning the scale, 5th fret, we're bending that a half step. And again, make sure you match that pitch. Don't under or over bend it. It takes practice. And then on the G string, again, you have that half step bend where we're bending again to that C. So, go through the scale, but stop at the bends. Those are the half steps. And the full step bends, go back to the high E string. We're going to bend that C up to the D, 8th to 10th fret. Then the half step. Then you could bend that G up to the A. And that's where bending the, again, 8th to 10th fret, but on the B string. Again, match that pitch. There's that half step. So start with those bends. And you can already hear how this is starting to sound musical. Another thing you could do is instead of bending the note, slide to the note, the next note on the half steps. But use the same finger you would. Don't change fingers because I want you to stay in position when you're learning the scale. So with the 3rd finger, you could do that going from the 7th to 8th fret. 1st finger on the B string, 5th to 6th. And then 1st finger, 4th to 5th on the G string. Now if you put all that together, see how we're starting to take this scale and make it sound musical, right? And it's starting to turn into licks. Okay, so, and don't forget that arpeggio. Incorporate incorporating with bends, right? So we have our slab, S, L. S, learn the scale. L, legato, hammers and pulls, up and back. A, learn the arpeggio, lives in the scale. B, bends of the scale. This is the template you can use as a practice for all your scales. And then jam is the last part. And what I mean by that is, just create a loop, or if you have jam tracks, and just get lost in it. Just an easy 2-chord vamp. Don't lay down a long chord progression with complex chords. You want something wide open, easy to solo over, and I'll do that in a little while. 2 chords, and then just get lost, coming up with licks within that scale, doing the scale, the hammers and the pulls, listening for the intervals. We're training your ear, right? And get lost within the jam. Slab, jam. We're going to jam in a minute, but at first, let's do the template one more time. And this time we'll do it with a natural minor scale, and I'll show you it's the exact same format. Slab, jam, natural minor scale, and we'll do it in A, which is the relative minor of C, so you'll be able to use both these scales in a jam, A minor, C major. The notes in an A minor scale, again, no sharps or flats, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so natural minor scale on the 5th string root, again, these are movable, so to change you would just move that first finger, put it on the root note, and play the exact same shape. It's beautiful. You play it all over the neck, right? Okay, so here we're going to be up at the 12th fret. We have our A note at the 12th fret. Yes. So, okay, so the first thing is learn that scale up and back and practice it and talk over it. Talk about what you had for breakfast, what you did last night. Talk about, I don't know, how much you enjoy spending time with your friends and playing this lovely guitar and watching videos from Next Level Guitar, because we have some of the best educational resources on the net, right? Of course, something like that. I don't know. L, legato, you want to play it with hammers and pulls, right? There's our hammers, and on the way back we'll do our pull-offs, right? So hammers. The arpeggio that lives within this scale, we could pick a minor 7th, which is we're going to play the root note, the flat 3rd, the 5th, and the flat 7th slow, right? Right, so practice that up and back. And then the B, the bend. So you have the half-step bends. 1st fret, 12th, high E string, 12th fret, 1st finger. Again. And then again, you have that half step on the B string at the 12th fret. And then those are some full step bends that are great, or a high E string on the 15th, bending that up to the 17th. And then you have the 15th bent to the 17th on the B string. That's the formula. Slab, jam, right? No matter what scale you're using, this is a great practice routine. So now let's get lost in a jam. Now I got the acoustic guitar just to show you that, electric, acoustic, it doesn't matter. This is the same template that you're going to use as a practice routine for your scales and creating licks and having fun, right? Give yourself plenty of fun time on the guitar. What a great way to do it with jams. I laid down a very basic chord progression, just A minor to an F chord. I got it on a boss looper pedal. Just get lost in that scale. I'll start real simple and basic. I'll stay just here in A natural minor. I'll try to explain what I'm doing, leave lots of space, see what notes sound good to you. Try to find little melodic 2-3 note things and then repeat them and catch a melody. And then we'll move to this other shape, which C major, but we'll focus on those A notes, and that will make it A natural minor. Right, because we're in the key of A minor, not C major. Even though the notes are the same, you want to emphasize the A notes. So check it out. Let's just start off simple. I'll start off and just play the whole scale and mess with the arpeggio. Here we go. Just kind of stopping on some notes that I like. There's those half steps. Half-step bends are so melodic. I like that little phrase. I'm going to repeat it. There's that legato playing, right? The hammers and pulls. Here's that arpeggio. See how nice that sounds when I work in pieces of that? I knows? Those little phrases. There's those first finger slides. Now try to connect the two together. Now we're up here in the first one I showed you. There's the bend. Right? Remember, it's not a rush. I'm checking out those half steps, see what I like best. I like that little 3-note thing on the high E string. Let's try it. Little A minor triad. Two little A minor arpeggio. There's the minor 7 arpeggio. I'm back in the other shape. Found a nice little lick I like. Keep going with it. Why not? It's all about what's within inside you. Okay, so now you have a great template as you move forward in your guitar journeys for practicing and learning your scales. Slab jam, that's the way to go. I'm telling you, practice over jam tracks in different keys. There's so much fun, good sounding tracks. If you don't have any jam tracks, I'll put links in the text box below this video. I did a bunch of studio recorded jam tracks I sell with my ebook that's packed with scale diagrams and lessons and all kinds of stuff. If you want to check that out, just click on the links in the box below. Also, if you want a free video lesson that's not on YouTube, and I'll also send you a free ebook with that too. I'll put that link in the text box below for you too. Check those out. Please subscribe to my video channel here at Rock On Good People. Click on that text box. I'll let you know we got lessons coming out all the time. Have fun. Remember, give yourself plenty of fun time on that guitar. Keep developing your ear. So important. Remember, slab jam. Have fun. Swing for the fences. And I will see you in the next lesson. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm David Taub. You're the good people. Keep on rocking.